He removed my patient from the transplant list, just deleted her name from the system, replaced it with VIP, private client. My patient had been waiting 6 months for a heart. She was number 1 on the regional list. And this entitled 29-year-old surgeon, fresh out of residency, driving a Ferrari paid for by his hospital director father, decided a senator's donation was worth more than her life. What he didn't know was that every keystroke in that system is logged permanently. And I had a number for the federal agent who investigates organ trafficking. But before I tell you about the moment federal agents walked into his operating room, about him being escorted out in handcuffs while the heart he stole went to its rightful recipient, about his father losing everything trying to protect him, let me take you back to the beginning, to the day I learned that some people think the transplant list is just a suggestion. My name is Dr. Samuel Mercer. I'm 50 years old, chief of cardiothoracic surgery at Riverside Medical Center in Philadelphia. I've been doing transplant surgery for 23 years. And in all that time, I've followed one sacred rule. The list is the list. No exceptions, no favors, no shortcuts. Because when you start making exceptions, people die. The transplant list isn't arbitrary. It's calculated by a federal algorithm called UNOS, United Network for Organ Sharing. It considers blood type, tissue match, medical urgency, time waiting, geographic location. It's designed to be fair, impartial, incorruptible, unless someone with access decides to corrupt it. Sarah Mitchell was 34 years old, elementary school teacher, single mother of 2 kids, ages 7 and 5. She'd been on the heart transplant list for 6 months. She had dilated cardiomyopathy. Her heart was failing, enlarged, weak, pumping at 20% capacity when it should be 65. Without a transplant, she had maybe 3 months. With one, she could live another 30 years. She was blood type O negative, universal donor type. Ironically, that made her wait longer because O negative hearts can go to anyone, so they often go to more urgent cases. But Sarah had moved up the list. Steadily, patiently. 6 months of waiting, of hoping, of trying to stay alive long enough. Last Tuesday, she reached number 1 in our region. I visited her that morning. She was in the cardiac unit, hooked up to monitors for medications keeping her heart functioning. Dr. Mercer, she smiled weakly. How much longer? You're at the top of the list now. Could be today, could be next week. But you're first in line. Well, I see my kids graduate high school. If we get you a heart, absolutely. She cried. Relief, hope, fear, all mixed together. I held her hand. Stay strong, Sarah. We're going to get you through this. 8 hours later, my pager went off. Heart available. I need you match. Mitchell S. ETA. 45 minutes. I ran to Sarah's room. We have a heart. It's yours. We're prepping for surgery now. Sarah burst into tears. Really? Oh my God. Really? Really? Let's get you ready. The next 2 hours were controlled chaos. Prepping Sarah. Assembling the surgical team. Confirming the organ harvest timing. Coordinating with the donor hospital. Everything was perfect until it wasn't. I was scrubbing in when my surgical nurse, Patricia, burst through the door. Dr. Mercer, we have a problem. What kind of problem? Sarah's name disappeared from your schedule. What do you mean disappeared? Someone removed her from a system. The slot now says VIP, private client. My blood went cold. That's not possible. She's number 1 on the UNOS list. No one can just remove her. Someone with administrator access did. 15 minutes ago, I didn't finish scrubbing. I walked directly to the administrative wing, still in my surgical cap and mask. I knew exactly who'd done this. Dr. Bryce Harrington, 29 years old, just finished his cardiac surgery fellowship, technically qualified, practically useless, arrogant beyond belief. Also, son of director Martin Harrington, which meant Bryce thought the hospital was his personal playground. I'd caught him cutting corners before, delegating critical procedures to residents, showing up late, leaving early. But this was different. This was criminal. I walked into his office without knocking. He was on the phone, feet up on his desk, laughing. I'm telling you, Senator, this heart is yours. My father made sure of it. You'll be in surgery in 2 hours. I grabbed the phone from his hand and hung it up. What the hell did you just do? Bryce stood up, furious. Dr. Mercer, you can't just You removed Sarah Mitchell from the transplant list. I reallocated resources based on hospital priorities. Hospital priorities? The transplant list is federal law. It's not a suggestion. Bryce smiled. That entitled, smug smile that made me want to break things. Dr. Mercer, let me explain how the real world works. Senator Patterson is offering to donate $15 million for a new cardiac wing. In exchange for receiving this heart today, my father approved the arrangement. Your father doesn't have the authority to override UNO's allocation. My father runs this hospital. His authority is absolute here, not over federal organ allocation law. What you did is a crime. It's called organ trafficking. It's punishable by up to 5 years in federal prison. Bryce laughed. Actually laughed. You're adorable. Do you really think anyone's going to prosecute the son of one of the most powerful hospital directors on the East Coast? Yes, I do. Then you're stupider than I thought. Here's what's going to happen. Senator Patterson gets the heart. He donates $15 million. The hospital benefits. Everyone wins. Except Sarah Mitchell, who dies waiting for the next heart that might never come. That's unfortunate, but we live in a world of priorities. The senator's life is worth more to this institution than a schoolteacher's. I stepped closer to him. Say that again. The senator's life is worth... I didn't let him finish. You just admitted to organ trafficking on hospital grounds. Thank you for being so clear. Who's going to believe you? It's your word against mine. And my father doesn't matter. Because I'm not reporting you to your father. I'm reporting you to UNOS and the Federal Health Enforcement Division. Bryce's smile faltered. Just for a second. You wouldn't. Watch me. I walked out. I went directly to my office. Locked the door. Opened my computer. I accessed the hospital's secure server. I had administrative credentials for medical purposes. I pulled up the transplant allocation system logs. Every change made to the system is recorded. Time stamped. User logged. Permanently. I found it immediately. 14 hours, 37 minutes, and 22 seconds. User, B. Harrington, action. Patient removed from primary list 14 hours, 37 minutes, and 34 seconds. User, B. Harrington, action. VIP override activated 14 hours, 37 minutes, and 41 seconds. User, B. Harrington notes, Senator Patterson, father approved, he documented his own crime. In writing, with his login credentials. I downloaded the logs, screenshot every page, compiled them into a PDF. Then I made 3 phone calls. First, Regional UNO's office. This is Dr. Samuel Mercer, Chief of Cardiac Surgery at Riverside Medical. I need to report an emergency allocation violation in progress. The woman on the phone went from routine to alert in seconds. What kind of violation? Manual removal of a priority patient from the transplant list. Replacement with an unregistered VIP recipient. I'm sending you the documentation now. I heard typing. Dr. Mercer, if this is confirmed, we'll need to halt the surgery immediately and the heart is still in transport. ETA, 20 minutes. The unauthorized recipient is being prepped now. We're contacting federal enforcement. Do not let that surgery begin. Second call. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Inspector General. I worked with them before on organ donation protocols. Agent Rebecca Torres answered. Dr. Mercer, it's been a while. Rebecca, I need federal intervention on an organ trafficking case. Active. Happening now. I heard her chair scrape. Send me everything. I'm 10 minutes away. Third call. My surgical team. Patricia, prep or 3 for Sarah Mitchell. Emergency transplant. We're doing this surgery tonight no matter what. But Dr. Mercer, the heart is allocated to Sarah. That's not changing. Get her prepped. 25 minutes later, Agent Torres arrived with 3 other federal agents and 2 UNO's officials. They went directly to the OR wing. I followed. Bryce was already scrubbing in. Senator Patterson was on the table, prepped and draped. The heart had arrived. It was in a sterile container on ice. Everything was ready. Then the doors burst open. Nobody move. Agent Torres's voice cut through the room like a scalpel. Bryce spun around. What is this? This is a sterile environment. Dr. Bryce Harrington, step away from the patient. I'm in the middle of surgery. No, you're in the middle of committing a federal crime. Step away. Now. Two agents moved toward him. Bryce looked panicked. Someone call my father. This is insane. Torres held up a tablet. At 14:37 today, you manually removed Sarah Mitchell from the UNO's primary allocation list and replaced her with an unregistered VIP recipient in exchange for a $15 million donation. That's not. I have your login credentials. Your notes. Your admission to Dr. Mercer that you were trading organ allocation for money. That's federal organ trafficking under 42 U.S.C. 274E. Bryce went white. Your medical license is suspended immediately pending investigation. You're being detained for questioning. If you resist, you'll be arrested. Director Martin Harrington burst into the OR. What is going on here? Agent, you can't just... Director Harrington, unless you want to be charged as an accessory, I suggest you step back. Your son documented your approval of this scheme in the system logs. Martin froze, looked at his son, at the agents, at his career evaporating in real time. Bryce, what did you do? Dad, I was just trying to help the hospital by violating federal law, by committing organ trafficking. Torres turned to the UNO's officials. This heart needs to go to its rightful recipient immediately. Who's that? Sarah Mitchell. O-negative match. Priority 1 in the region. Torres looked at me. Dr. Mercer, can you perform the transplant? I'm ready. Sarah's prepped in or 3. Then let's move. This heart has a limited window. The UNO's officials personally transported the heart container 2 or 3. I followed. Behind me, I heard Bryce being escorted out. He was crying, begging his father to fix this. But some things can't be fixed. I scrubbed in properly this time. My team was ready. Sarah was unconscious, prepped, waiting. I performed the transplant over the next 6 hours. It was technically perfect. The heart fit perfectly, started beating on its own. Beautiful. Sarah would live. When I came out of surgery, Agent Torres was waiting. How is she? She'll make it. Full recovery expected. Good. Because we need your testimony. This case is going to trial. Whatever you need. Dr. Harrington, Bryce, has been formally charged with organ trafficking, attempted manslaughter, and fraud. His medical license has been permanently revoked by the state board pending the federal case. And his father? Director Harrington is under investigation. The hospital board forced his resignation this afternoon. If we find evidence he authorized this, and we will, he'll face charges too. 2 months later, I testified at Bryce's hearing before the state medical board. He showed up in a suit, looking humbled. His lawyer argued it was a judgment error made under pressure. I presented the evidence, the logs, the recorded admission, the senator's donation being contingent on receiving the heart. The board deliberated for 15 minutes. Verdict: permanent revocation of medical license. Prohibition from practicing medicine in any capacity. Referral to federal prosecutors for criminal trial. Bryce's father sat in the gallery. He'd aged 10 years and 2 months. He didn't look at his son. 6 months after that, Bryce pleaded guilty to avoid trial. 5 years in federal prison. $250,000 fine. Lifetime ban from working in healthcare. Senator Patterson withdrew his donation and quietly received a transplant at another hospital a year later through proper channels. Martin Harrington never worked in hospital administration again. Last I heard, he's consulting for medical device companies. As for me, the hospital board offered me Martin's position, director of Riverside Medical Center. I accepted on one condition: complete transparency in organ allocation. No VIP lists. No special treatment. The algorithm decides. Period. We implemented new protocols. Double verification on any transplant list changes. Automatic reporting to UNOs of any manual alterations. Zero tolerance for allocation violations. Sarah recovered fully. She went back to teaching. Her kids are teenagers now. She sent me a Christmas card every year with their school photos. Last week, one of them said she wants to be a doctor. I think about that conversation with Bryce sometimes. About him saying the senator's life was worth more than Sarah's. He was wrong. Every life on that list is worth exactly the same. That's the whole point of the list. But more importantly, He forgot something crucial about medicine. There are lines you do not cross. Not for money, not for influence, not even for your father. The transplant list is sacred because it's the only thing standing between fairness and barbarism, between medicine and murder for hire. Bryce thought his last name gave him the power to decide who lives and who dies. He treated a human heart like a luxury item to be traded for favors and donations. He forgot that in medicine, there are consequences, real ones. Privilege might get you into the OR. It might get you a medical degree. It might even get you a fellowship at a prestigious hospital. But it won't save you when you cross the line into criminal territory. Because federal law doesn't care whose son you are. And neither do I. I'm often asked if I regret ending Bryce's career. If I feel bad about reporting him. I don't. Not even a little. Because every time I see Sarah's Christmas card, every time I hear about her kids, every time I think about the 30 years of life she has ahead of her, I know I made the right call. Bryce made his choice when he hit delete on Sarah's name. I made mine when I downloaded those logs and called Agent Torres. He chose money and influence. I chose the list. And the list doesn't negotiate. Bryce spent 5 years in federal prison thinking about that choice. I spent those same 5 years performing 47 successful heart transplants, following the list, saving lives, doing what we're supposed to do. Some people think the rules don't apply to them, that their connections make them untouchable. They learn the hard way that medicine is one of the few fields where competence matters more than connections, and integrity matters more than both. The list is sacred, not because it's perfect, but because it's fair. And when you play God with someone's life, when you trade human hearts for donations, when you think you're above federal law, prepare to meet the devil in the details. Because in medicine, the details are logged, time-stamped, permanent, and they will destroy you. Bryce learned that lesson in the hardest way possible. I just hope someone else reads his case file and decides not to make the same mistake. Because the next time someone tries to corrupt the transplant list, I'll be ready. And so will Agent Torres. The list is the list. No exceptions. Ever.